What if people were disappearing, not into thin air, but into a forest no one dared to question? What if behind a quiet neighborhood in Ibadan, there stood a broken building hiding chained human beings, rotting bodies, and secrets so dark they were never fully explained? This is the true story of the Ibadan Forest of Horror. On March 22nd, 2014, something unusual happened in Soka, a quiet area of Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. A motorcycle taxi driver, known locally as an Okada rider, vanished. No phone call, no ransom, no trace. Concerned, fellow riders formed an impromptu search party. They knew the roads, they knew the forest paths, and they knew something wasn't right. Their search led them deep into Soka Forest to a dilapidated, abandoned building. What they found there would shock the entire nation. Inside the building were human beings, alive, but barely. Some were starving. Some were too weak to speak. Some were on the brink of death. In total, 23 survivors were rescued from that building. But that wasn't the worst part. Scattered around the compound and forest were decomposing bodies, severed body parts, and personal belongings, shoes, clothes, bags, evidence of people who never made it out alive. The building quickly became known as the Ibadan Forest of Horror, also called the Ibadan House of Horror. Authorities believe the site was used for human trafficking and ritual sacrifice. Victims were allegedly abducted, detained, and killed. But who was behind it? According to reports and survivor accounts, the operations were believed to be coordinated by unknown kidnappers and ritualists. Even more disturbing were allegations that these groups were supported by wealthy individuals and politicians who allegedly used human flesh for rituals. No concrete evidence was ever publicly presented to confirm this, but the rumors refused to die, and neither did public anger. Less than 2 weeks after the Soka discovery, another similar horror site was uncovered in Adigbi, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Different location, same disturbing pattern. This raised a terrifying question. Was Soka an isolated incident or part of a much larger network? Some survivors shared chilling details. They claimed their abductors posed as officials of an urban renewal initiative, allegedly linked to the Oyo State government. Victims were told they were being relocated or taken for documentation. Instead, they were taken to the forest. Whether this claim was true or not was never fully established, but it deepened public suspicion. The discovery triggered nationwide outrage. Youth groups in the area accused the Oyo State Police Command of ignoring repeated kidnapping reports before the discovery. There were growing fears of connections between the forest operators and powerful individuals. Yet, despite investigations and public pressure, no clear evidence ever surfaced to link top officials or politicians directly to the crimes. For many Nigerians, the lack of transparency felt like a silence louder than words. Eventually, the buildings were demolished. Today, the land no longer looks like a crime scene. It has been redeveloped into Oyo State Comprehensive Model School, a secondary school filled with students and classrooms. But beneath the fresh paint and concrete lies ground that once held suffering, death, and unanswered questions. And for many, the question still remains. How many victims were never found? And how many truths were never told? The Ibadan Forest of Horror may be gone, but its shadow still lingers.